Good afternoon. It is Monday, August 12th. Taking a look at ES here for a quick session recap. We did have that typical slow Monday that we discussed this morning during the pre-market prep. No economic data today, following pretty volatile week and with a couple of big prints on Tuesday, tomorrow, and Wednesday, PPI and CPI. So typically what you'll see is in these scenarios a slower session. That's exactly what we saw. Price moving about half of the current ATR, which is 100 points. And that is, I believe I have this set to a 21-day look back or a 20-day look back. So it's looking back over the past month of trading. Current ATR on ES is 100 points. Today's move was 49 points. So about half of the normal ATR. What we were looking for today was whether or not price could show acceptance up above that prior day's high. And the significance of that level is, number one, in the near term, look at the volume void directly above that prior day high. So these areas tend to fill quickly, but also we do have the weekly hammer. This is currently the focus point and the main watch, at least for the early portion of the week. We want to see if buyers are able to show any follow through on this weekly hammer, which would be up through last week's high, which is right through here, that 53.85 level. So price initially did give a little push up through that 53.85, but got knocked back down at the 5400. And then just pretty much sat within the range for the duration of the session, unable to make a fresh session low, just kind of oscillating, barcode, choppier action, right? So what I'll be looking at for tomorrow is that same level, the 53.85 into PPI. That remains the primary watch here. Buyers have done a pretty good job of sustaining price up in this area, just kind of showing that oscillation through this zone. If you take a look at earlier in the week, last week retest of this area, pretty quick sell off, right? Down through here. And so this is definitely a change from what we were seeing last week. Now, can that continue into tomorrow with PPI? That is yet to be seen. And again, for that, we'll be looking at 53.85 as the primary level of interest there. And then today's low will be significant as well. If price fails to hold today's low and you start to see some weakness down below that 53.25, it'll be back within that prior near-term range. And you could expect 5300, potentially 5240. So a couple of game plans, a couple of scenarios to keep in mind for tomorrow's session, both of which will largely hinge on how price responds to today's range. Now, the other thing to take a look at is the shape of this daily bar. Not the best shape as far as looking for that continuation higher. So this is something to keep an eye on as well, and really signifies the importance of today's low, which will be significant for tomorrow's session as well. Take a look at previous resistance on that year-to-date chart in this area. So today's range, primary watch for tomorrow's session, going to be pretty similar on NQ as well. NQ for today, we're looking for that push up and through the prior day high. You could see right off the open, price pretty much rejects that prior day high. That sets up the short setup down into the 18,550 level of interest. During the live stream, we were looking for any buying activity in this area. You get the spring setup, you get the 10 a.m. reversal time, and a pretty enormous move up into that 760 level of interest. Look at that, almost perfectly marking the high for the session. Love to see that level to level move. Very nice. Following that, price just kind of sits within the range. I mean, look how choppy this is. So more volatility compression following last week. and PPI tomorrow. What I'll be looking at here is pretty much a similar type of approach. I want to see how price responds to the 640 area and the 760 upside level of interest. Pretty much that same exact structural zone we talked about with ES. Right through here, we want to see if buyers are going to show that continuation move. And again, that's the weekly high, last week's high. Now, of note, this near term and last week volume point of control right through this area, that's that blue line and that yellow line you see through the chart here, where most of the volume has been done. That area is currently serving as support. So we want to see if that zone continues to hold. That's 18,510 or so, 18,500. A lot of volume all through this area. So that area definitely remains significant. And again, just looking to see if buyers can show that continuation play of this weekly bar. This remains the focus for now. Daily, not all that compelling with that daily bar. So if sellers do end up stepping in here and price kind of rolls over, giving another lower high, you want to keep an eye on today's low. Again, if sellers are able to show that acceptance beneath today's low, that would be significant into CPI. So again, a couple of scenarios to look at on both ES and NQ, both of which will be dependent on how price responds to today's tighter range. What was the ATR for today? 250 points. So half ATR move. Normal ATR now on NQ is 499, about 500 points. So some quieter sessions, typical for a Monday. If you guys have questions about anything, feel free to shoot me a DM in the Traders Think Tank. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow morning. A quick reminder on the pre-market prep. I'm going to be tying that in now with the normal regular trading hours live stream. So there won't be a pre-market prep live stream. It'll just be tied in with the regular trading hours live stream. And I'll start to move the start time of that regular trading hours live stream a little bit earlier, so we have a little more time to discuss the primary structure at play. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That'll be, link is always posted in the Traders Think Tank, and tomorrow's stream will be hosted through YouTube, but it is a private stream, so it's only for Traders Think Tank members. Alrighty, have a good evening, folks. Talk to you later.